Movements need a devil more than a god. Every movement needs an enemy. In Scientology, they're called suppressives, people who are declared enemies of the church. In politics, it's the other party. In business, it's the status quo, the old way, the broken systems your customers are trapped in. In my world, the enemy was traditional marketing, the gatekeepers, the agencies, the people who told entrepreneurs they need to spend $50,000 on a website before they could sell anything online. Why do intelligent people, and I include in Scientologists some very, very intelligent, very successful people, spend decades of their lives and hundreds of thousands of dollars inside this system? And the answer is inside of this book right here. It's called The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. And his story alone is worth telling. Because Hoffer wasn't a professor, he wasn't an academic, he was a longshoreman. He worked on the San Francisco docks loading and unloading ships. He had zero formal education. He actually went blind as a child and mysteriously got his sight back at 15. And from that point on, he just read everything he could find, anything and everything. And during the day, he'd work on the docks. And at night, living in railroad yards, he would write. In 1951, he published this book, The True Believer, Thoughts on the Nature of Mass Movements. And it became a national bestseller when President Eisenhower cited it on one of his first ever television press conferences. A longshoreman with no education wrote the most important book on mass psychology since Le Bon's The Crowd. I love this guy. And here's what Hoffer figured out that explains everything about Scientology, and honestly about every movement, about every brand, every community, anything that inspires fanatics people to be in love with what you're doing. Insight number one, people don't join for the doctrine, they join for the refuge. Hoffer wrote, and this is one of the most important sentences I've ever read, a rising mass movement attracts and holds a following not by its doctrines and promises, but by the refuge it offers from the anxieties, barrenness, and meaninglessness of an individual existence. Okay, read that again. People don't join because of the what, they join because of the why. They're in pain, they feel lost. They feel like their life as an individual isn't working. And the movement, whether it's religion, a political party, a brand community, or a coaching program, offers them something that their individual life couldn't. Belonging, purpose, identity, a tribe. And if you're an entrepreneur, this should hit you like a truck because your customers aren't buying your products for the features. They're buying because of their individual attempts to solve their problem that isn't working, and they want to be part of something bigger, a community that understands them, a movement that gives them identity. That's what ClickFunnels became. Not a software tool, a movement. Okay, we all call ourselves funnel hackers. The language, the events, the shared identity, that's Hoffer's insight applied to business. All right, insight number two, movements need a devil more than a god. Hoffer wrote the mass movements can rise and spread without belief in a god, but they never without a belief in a devil. Every movement needs an enemy. In Scientology, they're called suppressives, people who are declared enemies of the church. In politics, it's the other party. In business, it's the status quo, the old way, the broken systems your customers are trapped in. In my world, the enemy was traditional marketing, the gatekeepers, the agencies, the people who told entrepreneurs they need to spend $50,000 on a website before they could sell anything online. ClickFunnels was the movement against that. You don't need a gatekeeper, you need a funnel. Okay? Now in your business, you need an enemy, not a person, an idea, a way of doing things that your audience already hates. And then you position your product as the weapon against that enemy. That's Hoffer's insight. That's what every successful movement does. And this is the one that'll make some people uncomfortable. Hoffer wrote, the quality of ideas seems to play a minor role in the mass movement leadership. What consists is the arrogant gestures, the complete disregard of the opinion of others, the single-handed defiance of the world. What that means is the content of your message matters less than the conviction of your delivery. People don't follow ideas, they follow certainty. They follow someone who acts like they've already read the book of the future to the last word. Someone who is so certain of where they're going that following them feels safer than standing still. And that's true in religion, it's true in politics, and it's true in your business. If you get on camera and you're wishy-washy, if you're hedging, if you're saying, well, maybe this and it depends, nobody's gonna follow that. People follow the person who plants their flags and says, this is the way, follow me. Now the danger is that conviction without integrity creates a cult. Conviction with integrity creates a movement. And the audience can't always tell the difference, at least not at first. That's what makes it so powerful and so dangerous at the exact same time.